everybody. Welcome to another episode of What a Hell of a Way to Dad. It is Francis, and with me once again is my lovely wife, Miss Elizabeth, who is joining us in the podcast ranks of somebody who has podcasted on their birthday now.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday. So we wanted to do another episode because we took another little road trip, another little Route 66 road trip, and we went to the greatest show under the earth. Beth, give us your history of Meramec Caverns, like your personal history with Meramec Caverns.
Yeah, so we met because I was writing a blog about roadside attractions many years ago. It's been about, 16 years now?
That we've been...
Since you invited yourself on one of my little blogging trips.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's exactly what happened. You give me that look. That's exactly what happened. You were on leave from Iraq, and my trivia friends and I were planning a trip to Bonterre Mine for the blog.
I think Roy told me about it.
Maybe I don't know. We were talking about it I know we were talking about it at Lemons, the bar where we met doing trivia, and you came over and you said, "Hey, I heard you're going to this mine. Can I come?" And I was like, "What?" Because I didn't know you that well.
Wouldn't be the last time I would absolutely broadside you with something.
Well, because I was friends with your roommate, Roy.
Roy, yeah.
And I mean, like right before you came home on leave, he had been like, "Are you friends with my roommate on Facebook? You should be." And I was like, "Yeah, I probably should be." I went to your deployment party. Yeah. But I mean, I went because you were Roy's roommate, not because I really knew you that well.
Because it was at the bar we all hung out at.
Right.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're going to hang out at the bar where all my friends are. Like, It's for this guy? Sure.
And I was very hungover at that going away party, too, because I had been at a wedding the night before. But anyway. Yeah. So I did not know you that well. You came up and were like, "Hey, I want to go to this mine." And I'm like, and it was me and Keith talking about it, a friend of ours that we're still friends with today. And you were like, "I want to come." And I'm like, "You're on leave from Iraq and you want to go to a mine?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And yes, and now I know. I know you, and I'm like, yeah, absolutely, you would do that.
Right, because what you didn't know at that time is the 4 days that I had between the ending of our training before going to Iraq and actually getting on the plane. They gave us 4 days pass.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the unit was like, "Oh, I'm going to go home." And I called my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, "I can't take off work," which should have been an indication about what was coming, but... So what I said is that's cool. And I rented a car and I drove around Pennsylvania and I went to Centralia. I went to the Muter Museum. I went to 3 Mile Island. So I hit all the like cool little like things that would be absolutely blog worthy for you.
Absolutely.
Like, one of them was the penitentiary in Philadelphia that you and I went to a few years later.
Oh yeah, that was a yellow ribbon.
Yeah, so the travel is in my blood.
Yes, for sure, and I know that now. So. So when we met in 2010, I had been doing this blog since like 2005, 2006, maybe. So I had been doing this for a long time, writing about roadside attractions. And this all started with my love of Meramec Caverns, the greatest show under the earth, which was probably as a kid, my first exposure to a show cave. I really don't know the first time that I went there.
Yeah.
I do know that like throughout my like teens and early 20s and even into my 30s, like it was just like various friends and I would go to Meramec Caverns just as a little road trip from St. Louis because it is the greatest show cave in the state, if not the multi-state area.
Oh, absolutely. Because we have been and have we talked show caves? I know I've talked show caves with Jack, but I don't think you and I have.
I don't think we have.
No. And because we go to a lot of show caves.
And what I will always tell people is that you will not catch me spelunking. Absolutely not. I will not be wearing any equipment.
There better be a handrail that I can hold on to.
Concrete walkways, lights. So that was what was kind of making me chuckle. When we said we were going to Meramec Caverns and you posted all those photos on Blue Sky and people were like, I mean, you should go to this cave or that cave where they haven't dynamited everything. And we're just like, what? Clearly you don't know us.
Absolutely not. And look, today, obviously all these caves are very well protected. They are very adamant about keeping your hands off of things. At this point, though, like I feel like down Meramec Caverns has been a show cave for almost 100 years at this point.
90 years in the same family.
I'm sure it's been touched all to hell in a lot of the places, but it is only a very, like any cave system, you're only seeing a very small amount of it.
Well, correct.
And it is, they maintain it. I would say that for what they have, they're pretty good stewards of this cave. And it's one of the original roadside attractions of Route 66 as well.
I mean, the thing that I love so much about show caves is that they are the original tourist attraction.
Yeah.
Like, since anybody first discovered a hole in the ground and could charge a nickel for you to go in, it's the first tourist attraction. Yeah. And that is where my love of caves stems from. And so we've been to, as far as I know, we've been to all the show caves in the state, and a fair number in Indiana as well.
Yeah. And all of them are special in their own ways. There's the one that you can drive through. They have like a little cart that you can drive through in it. They got Bridal Cave that's had 50 weddings or 60 weddings in it.
Oh my gosh, so much more than that. Yeah.
Let's see. We've got Smallin Cave, one of my favorites because you got a massive opening to get into it.
Smallin Cave is also very nature focused, very conservation and science minded, and probably the least amount of additions, I guess, to it. Like, they did add concrete walkways, but for the most part, it's fairly unspoiled. Yeah. And you do get the most science-heavy lessons in that cave, for sure.
Because, and that cave was utilized heavily throughout, the years by Native Americans. And, because it's such a large place.
Oh, sure.
A large gathering
picnics,
place.
Church camps, everything.
Yeah, you could lay down a skyscraper inside of this opening. It's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the Mark Twain Cave, which, has a bunch of signatures from the many, the
original graffiti.
The original graffiti.
Smoking out your name with a candle.
And then Marvel Cave, which is down in Branson. Right? That's
Marvel Cave was actually the tourist attraction that Silver Dollar City grew up around.
Yes.
The cave was the original attraction. The theme park came after.
Yes.
And built around the cave.
And while I believe Meramec Caverns is a better cave, Marvel is a better experience because you get to ride a funicular.
True.
To get out of it. So, get down. If you get down to Branson.
We all know how Francis loves a funicular.
I love a train that goes up a hill. But we're talking Meramec Caverns. And so my own personal history, I, grew up and probably went there once or twice as a kid. I'm sure that I did maybe a Boy Scout expedition or maybe I feel like I went there with a school group at some point.
It's possible.
Yeah. So, and Meramec Caverns it took us an hour to get there. It's about an hour drive outside of St. Louis. And the entire experience, the experience begins when you get on the highway and start driving towards Meramec Caverns, because there are over 400 billboards scattered across the United States, very heavily up and down Highway 44, which is the highway that kind of follows the old Route 66. But there's barn paintings from Meramec Caverns, Stanton, Missouri. There's so many different designs.
As far as California, right?
Yes,
they have advertisements as far as California on Route 66.
And I think up as far north as Iowa, I want to say. I was looking it up, but I didn't. I can't remember if it was Iowa or Minnesota. But yeah, this is one of the like I said, this is one of the original tourist destinations, and it's a really great campground. Of course, every cave in Missouri, 1 year, all of them just added zip lines. So you could just zip line all over the place.
Not all of them, but zip lines became very popular in Missouri in general.
And I think it's because there's so much camping attached to these, and it's one of those kind of outdoorsy things.
No, I think that zip lining became a very popular activity in tourist destinations, places where you have a lot of wooded area or even rainforest. So zip lines became very popular in Mexico and Costa Rica and all those kind of touristy areas. And then what a lot of people who take Missouri for granted don't realize is that we are in the mountains.
Yeah.
The Ozark Mountains stretch all the way up to St. Louis County. And so we have a lot of big hills and big wooded hills. And we also have a lot of rivers. And so ziplining was kind of imported into the Ozarks when it became popular in other areas, in other touristy areas. I don't think it has anything to do with camping. I think it just got to be oh yeah, we're hearing about people doing all of these, vacation zip lines. And like, we have that. We have trees. We have hills.
We have trees out the wazoo. Yeah, one of the other, what is it down?
We have a canopy.
Down in Branson, what are those roller coasters called that it just slides you down a hill? Like the mountainside
That's called an
ones?
alpine coaster, and it's in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
But yes, we have them in Missouri too.
Yeah.
And we saw one with that type of coaster in, I think, one of the Indiana caves that we visited.
Oh, yeah. So, well, it would have to be in the cave because Indiana's
No, in
flat.
the cave complex.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the things we have to talk about is that every show cave has a cave complex. And at Meramec Caverns, we've got a restaurant inside of the cave. We have a fudge shop, and that's both inside by the cave entrance, but also outside there's a fudge shop.
Yes,
where they do the majority of the fudge making is in the little store outside. Panning for gold, that's ubiquitous. There's always panning for gold.
Yeah, and the panning for gold is you buy a bag of sand and rocks, and then they have like a running water. It looks like it's coming out of like this water silo, and you can go and you put it in a little box that has a mesh, and you get to pan and pull out some quartz crystals and whatnot.
Yeah, get lots of gemstones and whatnot. So yeah, always very popular, very exciting, lots of dopamine there because we just had, our kids, we've been trying to clean out our kids' room, and she just got rid of a ton of rocks that came from panning for gold. And then of course, as soon as we get to Meramec Caverns, can I pan for gold? No. You're going to have to wait at least longer than 2 days since we got rid of all those rocks.
Yeah, so they have an ice cream shop inside. They have a fantastic gift shop as well. Now, when you go inside, though, because Meramec Caverns has had a lot of iterations over the past, right? Like,
well, I mean, it's been Meramec Caverns pretty much the way that it is for...
Yeah, but they don't really do balls there anymore, right? They don't do...
that is true. I think that a lot of their big activity... They cut back on a lot of their big activities. The tour guide that we had this time did... Now, so as I mentioned, I have been dragging people to Meramec Caverns since I was in my teens, and I am 48 today. So it's been a good 30 years of dragging people to Meramec Caverns. Our tour guide yesterday was 18 years old.
But he was a legacy. His dad worked as a tour guide.
It's possible that I had his dad as a tour guide at some point.
He was great too. He as soon as our daughter mentioned Pokemon, he was just like, what? Okay, no, fuck this cavern. Let's talk Pokemon. Fuck this cave kid.
He was a great tour guide. Yeah, we were giving a lot of life advice to this 18-year-old kid who just graduated high school.
Nah, you don't need to go to college immediately. He's like, no, I'm going to local community college.
Yeah, community college. Yeah, don't waste your money on university until you know what you want to do.
That's right, kids. We're all old people are full of advice, and if we don't get it out of us, we will explode. That's why we do this all the time.
And we were also those annoying people on the tour who were asking, "Why'd you skip over the part?"
Yeah, so there was a part of the tour that was like this little alcove, and it was, do you even remember? Like, he told it again, and I was like, oh, that's right, I've never heard of this show.
The show is called People Are Funny.
Oh, God, right. So the idea was that, like, this newly married couple didn't have money for a honeymoon, so they had to spend their honeymoon in the cave.
Yeah, so I can tell the whole story.
Okay,
I've heard it enough times. I want to say this was an art Linkletter show. So this couple, they didn't have money for a honeymoon. It was one of those TV shows where, people are challenged to do things for money. And, the like early reality television.
Kinda,
yeah, this would have been in the 50s.
Nobody's eating a cockroach with Joe Rogan.
No. But they said that these people, what they had to do was live in the cave in this little alcove that looked like a bear's den. Like, it was very small. They had to live in there even as tours were going by. And they had to stay in there for until they found...
And they had to pretend to be cavemen.
Yes. So they had to stay in there until they found the gold key that would open this treasure chest. And the producers didn't even hide the key until the second to last day. So, they had to spend more than a week in this cave pretending to be cavemen.
Yeah, they said 10 days. We're going to get 10 days out of you.
Yeah, so they hid the key on the 9th day. And then they did get a nice honeymoon to, I don't know what it was.
And they got like
Hawaii
$1,000 or something.
Yeah, they got extra spending money, and they got a real honeymoon. But
yeah, of course. So we're waving our hands. It's like, why didn't you talk about that?
Why didn't you talk about people are funny?
Yeah, it's like, because nobody knows what that is.
Right. No one knows that show anymore. And so it just and then also there was we'll get to the other reason for cutting that story out of the tour, because we will get to the light show. But the one thing that we also didn't mention about outside in the cave complex is that they have zip lining. They also have a rock climbing wall, and they have a float down the Meramec River. They have the Cavern Queen boat.
Oh, I felt that river calling to me yesterday.
Yes,
my God. Like,
it's so pretty.
It was
at that spot.
Like, you guys, Missouri is just absolutely gorgeous down in the Ozarks. And the Meramec River in this area is a very lazy running river. You just get in a tube. They just drive you 6 miles like north, I guess, or south. I can't remember which way.
She said it runs backwards.
It runs backwards, yeah. So they just drive you 6 miles away, and they chuck you in the water, and they say, we'll see you in 4 to 8 hours, depending on if you want to stop off and hang out on a sandbar or go fish or do whatever. And you just float on down, and it's the most relaxing thing ever. I haven't done it since I was a kid. I used to do it up in Michigan, and that kind of brought a lot of it back to me. So,
I don't do nature like that, but no, I do enjoy a boat with a motor.
You're enjoying motorboating, me too.
I do like to be on a crewed vessel. I don't like to float, but yeah, I will take any kind of boat like the Cavern Queen or the boats at Walt Disney World or anything like that, where I can just let somebody else drive me around.
Yeah, as our daughter was just like, well, where would you go to the bathroom? Like, you're in a river. Like, it was, she didn't understand.
Like a fish.
Yeah, I was like, she didn't understand. Like, no, you just go in the river. It's like, but then you'll have pee in your pants. Like, you're in a river. What are you talking about? So yeah, those also part of the cave complex. So inside the cave, the first thing that you notice after you pay for the first thing that you, Beth, my wife, used to notice was the asbestos tile.
Yes.
Beth spent 15 years as a flooring estimator, and it took a while. You don't do it anymore, but it used to be we would walk into a place, you'd immediately start commenting on the floors.
I mean, I don't do that as much anymore, but I do it on Zillow.
If you were impressed with it, like if you see something that you're impressed with, you know what good craftsmanship and what good floor laying looks like.
That's true, and I also know what a real cheap floor looks like too, and I tend to point that out on Zillow.
Exactly. So we knew, as I said, this cave has been in use, and they used to have, balls. They used to have, I think they had like a car show, because there's this massive cavernous area that you walk into. And they could fit like hundreds of people in this area, which they used to. But the tiling was all this 9-inch checkered tile that is
full of asbestos.
100% asbestos.
And it was broken. That's the real problem. Like, it's fine if it's not broken. But once it starts breaking, that releases dust in the air. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big problem. So when we walked in this time, I was like, oh my gosh, you finally got rid of the tile. And the tour guide was like, yeah, they just decided to go with what's called encapsulation, which is they poured 6 inches of concrete on top. And you can tell that because one of the things in that ballroom area is a reproduction of a moonshine still, little log cabin still that they found on the property. This is not the original cabin. It's a reproduction that has a reproduction still inside of it. But they did not move it to pour the floor. They just poured the concrete around the cabin. So for people like us who've been there a lot, you can see where the cabin is like sunken into the floor.
Right. Because they didn't concrete the inside of the cabin.
No, just around.
But they also are never moving that.
No,
it's
they're not.
Never moving from that location. Archaeologists are going to be very confused about that in 1,000 years.
That leads to one of the real points of confusion when people go to Meramec Caverns, because there's a perfect photo op where this moonshine still is. And it says Meramec Caverns, Jesse James hideout in neon above this cabin. Mm-hmm. And that cabin has nothing to do with Jesse James.
No. Well, it did.
Nope. It has nothing to do with him.
Well, if we go by the Jesse James Wax Museum, the Jesse James is Alive Museum, they made an old man live in there.
Did he live in the cabin?
Yeah.
I thought he just lived in the cave.
I guess he came out of the cabin like he was. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I'm going to make this quick because I can go down a real big rabbit hole with it. But outside of the Meramec Caverns, there's a place called the Jesse James Wax Museum. Missourians love Jesse James. He's our favorite outlaw. And in this wax museum, there is a conspiracy that Jesse James was not killed by Robert Ford. Jesse James, in fact, faked his death and just
lived to be like 108.
Right. So what the people of Meramec Caverns, who own this Meramec Caverns, did to lean into that is they found an old ass man to pretend to be Jesse James. And I believe that even if you go through the wax museum, like they say, even that man was in a hospital bed. In that cavern, still claiming to be Jesse James.
And the Wax Museum is owned by the same family as the Meramec Caverns.
That's why I love it. These people are insane, but not in a way that like I feel is going to be detrimental to me or anybody that I care about.
Sure.
So far.
We were explaining to the kid, the reason for a show cave to exist is to make money. Yeah. And every kind of, I don't want to say every, but in our experience, the stuff that we are drawn to is things like that would be comparable to a sideshow or like a cabinet of curiosities or a, what's the other thing? What's the other word I'm thinking of? Like sideshow punks, like fake things. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with fake stuff.
I love a Ripley's Believe It or Not. Because some things are real and some things are fake.
Right. And so like, and the other thing I was thinking of was when we used to do haunted ghost tours in Alton and they would talk about what's called ghosts of commerce, which is that a haunting is invented to bring people into a space. Right. I'm fine with ghosts of commerce. Some, the real serious ghost hunters, they poo-poo that kind of thing, but like, whatever. You got a ghost? I'm all in.
Sure. Like, do you have a good story with it?
Yes.
Like, that's what I'm looking for.
Because that's what all of this is storytelling.
I want to hear about how, like, the bloody widow murdered her husband and hanged herself. Like, I don't care if it actually happened or not. I will give you $5 to give me a good spook on a Halloween night. So
that is one thing, too, that I noticed that on this time around on Meramec Caverns, we had not been since 2018. And before that, it had been some years before the kid was born.
Right.
That I used to get a group together for my birthday every year to go to Meramec Caverns. I did feel like there were subtle changes to some of the things that were said inside of the cave yesterday, where like some fact checking is much easier to do in 2026 than it was, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I wish I had like made a note of an example where I was like, oh, they tell that a little bit differently now. Now, what they are still clinging on to, though, is the idea that Frank and Jesse James had a hideout in Meramec Caverns.
Right.
Like their connection to the cavern is tenuous at best.
Yeah.
Every cave most of the caves in Missouri claim that Jesse James used it as a hideout.
Jesse James loved to stash money in a cave.
Loot in a cave.
That dude loved two things in this world: robbing trains and being in a cave.
This is just one of the things we love about Missouri.
Yeah, none of these caves are near each other either. And it's not like, you're just like, I understand. I'm in the middle of the woods right now. I had to drive so far to get here. Jesse James is not just happening upon this.
Yeah, so that was actually one of the things that I noticed about this yesterday. I feel like they used to just say that this was a Jesse James hideout. I don't remember in the past, and I could be recollecting this incorrectly, but I don't feel like they used to tell the part where like Quantrill's raiders drove people, like they were using the cave for making, the Union was using the cave for gunpowder or something.
I remember that.
And that Quantrill's raiders came and drove them out.
Oh yeah, that they called the local militia and it was Quantrill's raiders.
Which is how Frank and Jesse James knew about the cave. That felt like a later addition to the story to me because like people were starting to ask, how would they have even known this cave was here?
Right.
So it was like Ghosts of Commerce assembled, the story is assembled around the claim.
And look, and these claims, because also there's a place inside of the cave called Loot Rock. And Loot Rock is said to be the place where Frank and Jesse, they robbed a train. They came and they split their money on Loot Rock. The sheriffs chased them to the cave. They knew that they were in there. They're like, we're going to smoke them out. But Jesse and Frank knew of another exit like downriver.
Right.
Now, all of this, like on that kind of like level, sure. The problem is that before we get to Loot Rock, there's about 100 feet that we have to walk. That right beforehand, they're like, yeah, so this was all underwater.
Yes. And it does not make any sense at all.
Right.
I mean, you have to like suspend your disbelief and leave it back in the parking lot.
And I asked him about it this time, and he was like, no, and he had some explanation.
It was a wall of water.
Yeah. There was.
It does not make sense, but it's not fair to press the 18-year-old tour guide.
No, that's why I didn't fuck with him too much. But it's a good story.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe they did find some sort of artifacts in there.
You just can't get around. Well, now, okay. So first of all, you can't get around the fact that the water has disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Like this water that was supposedly blocking the entrance, and then they didn't even notice until there was a big drought.
Well, they do say it floods. They do get flooding in the caves.
But they said that this, for years, there was no indication that this
that
gap
there was anything
there.
Beyond there, yeah.
Right, until there was a drought and the water went down. Have we been in a drought ever since? Yeah. Where did the water go?
Look, it's probably something like what the lead mine does, what Bonne Terre does. They probably have to pump some water out. Yeah.
Really? Did you see that? Any evidence of pumping water out?
Hey, look, I'm just trying to keep the mystique alive here.
I'm trying to keep the underground river that stays at the same level every time you're there.
It does.
Except for in 2017 when it flooded. But regardless, you have to just be like, sure, whatever. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, but fine. That's fine. So, but while we were on the tour, you asked me something about the loot at Loot Rock. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, we'll get to that later because I didn't want to mess with the kid.
Right.
But back 20 years ago when I was writing this roadside attraction blog and I had posts about Meramec Caverns that like, this is 20 years ago internet. I could do what would be considered extremely mediocre traffic today was really big traffic 20 years ago. So my blog really did very well regionally. I had a lot of contacts in like chambers of commerce and I talked to a lot of people and like it was a thing. It doesn't seem like it could possibly be a thing today, but it was 20 years ago. Right. This blog actually in a weird way kind of contributed to where Pokemon Go is today.
Oh yeah,
because my like wayfinding kind of like it was on the original Niantic field trip app that predated all of
that Pokemon Go was built on.
Yeah, it's like there's a line. But anyway, so point being, I did at one time have a Hollywood producer email me about this because they were working on some kind of, docudrama about Jesse James or the James Gang or whatever. And they're like, we found your website about this, Loot Rock and Meramec Caverns. Like, what do you know about it? What can you tell us? Like, do you think it's real? Whatever. And I was just like, here's the story they tell about it.
Right.
And the supposed artifacts that they have in a case up in the front before you go on the tour. And I did follow up with that person some weeks later. She did more research, talked to more people, interviewed people. And I followed up with her, a couple months later. And I was like, what did you ever find out about this? And she's just like, oh, it's all bullshit.
But it's good bullshit.
I wish that I had kept that email. I don't even remember what email address I was using at that time, but man.
Yeah, the Jesse James, tenuous at best, but, they don't lean too hard on it after the first 20, 30 minutes. Like, it does say Meramec Caverns, Jesse James hideout on the wall as you're going into the building.
They definitely use it on billboards, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Outlaw Caverns and...
Yeah, and they have an Outlaw burger in the restaurant and, it just is. It is what it is. Yeah. Like, as we know from going to many caves in Missouri, it's just...
I don't walk into a sideshow expecting historical, anything. Yeah. I didn't come out of there being like, guys, let me tell you everything about Jesse. I read an actual book written by a researcher about Jesse James. Right. But I would not come out of Meramec Caverns telling anybody I know anything about this.
That's the thing that gills me about, we are aware of the Meramec Caverns ownership and the family and their history and politics and all that kind of stuff.
They're all Trump supporters.
Right. Yeah. But that's just the nature of a cave in Missouri. Jesse James was not a good person.
He was a Confederate.
Yeah.
100%.
Right. These were bad people. And every single, well, not every single, but most of the caves in Missouri that we've been to claim some kind of James Gang connection that they hid out there. And most of Missouri does not see Jesse James as a problem.
Yeah, they see him
he was
as
an extremely awful person.
Oh God, yeah. 100%. Should have been killed way earlier.
Yeah. And he hung out with, who was it? Bloody Bill? Like,
Bloody
he
Bill,
was
yeah.
even worse.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, the real history is horrific.
They scalped people.
Yeah.
Like Union people.
These were bad dudes. And Missouri loves Jesse James.
Look.
I know.
There's kind of a mystique to it. Look, he's a bad guy, but also it's like pirates, right? We know pirates aren't like really good guys. We know Blackbeard's not a good guy, but it's fun. It's far enough past.
It's romanticized for sure. And I tell you, it's burned into my brain the Jesse James Wax Museum wax figure of his one-armed mom.
God, I wish that place had been open when we went.
Didn't she shoot some Pinkertons or something like that?
Oh God, yeah. And one of Jesse James, like when he was really young, his stepfather was set upon by a bunch of drunken Union soldiers who half hanged him. Like they kind of hang you, but not to death. And he's like, well, it's time to hate all Union people, but also they owned like 8 slaves. And that was like their entire wealth. So that was, they weren't happy about any of that. But look, this cave, Jesse James notwithstanding, because there's still more to this cave, because we get to go into the cave, and the cave has some they have the wine table, which apparently there's only one other rock formation
of this type that's known.
Right. And it's a formation that's formed underwater, right?
Yes.
Like it has to be underwater, and there's something about the rocks and the minerals that form into what looks like bunches of grapes. And so there's one that's a wine table, and it's
and also that it's like a pillar, like it's a table formation that stands
pillars
on 2 or 3 legs.
It's got 3 legs. It's
the one in Meramec Caverns has 3 legs.
And it's just there. It's not like, oh, this is kind of halfway in, this other rock. It is what you would think would be a freestanding table. Very rare. Like we said, only 2 known. The other one is Italy, and it's way smaller and not as cool as ours.
It is also underwater, isn't it? The one in Sicily.
Oh, yeah.
I think they said it's an underwater formation in Italy. Anyway, one of my favorite part is that on the little underground river the underground river that runs through the cave, that they have added a cutout of like the James brothers.
Oh yeah, escaping down the river,
like a little cardboard cutout. Yeah. And then also
16 miles down the river in a cave with torches. Sure.
Yeah. And water that's 43 degrees. Yeah. Like they would have died. And then also they filmed some movies. Well, a movie, which was it The Adventures of Tom Sawyer? Like, is that the name of the movie?
Yes, the 1950 something.
I think it's 70s. I think that was the 70s. Anyway, it involves Injun Joe plunging off of a cliff that's, very small when you see it in the cave. I really want to watch that. I meant for us to watch it before we recorded. Yeah, because like I have never seen it. The tour guide, though, said that he has watched it and it is on YouTube, so we need to find it.
YouTube for free, yeah.
Yeah. And then they also filmed a 2-part episode of Lassie in the cave. And there is a cutout of Lassie in the cave. And then the one that they don't talk about anymore. This is another thing that's been cut off of the tour. Or maybe I just had only 1 or 2 tour guides ever mention it, but not everybody did. But there is one point where you're walking through the cave, and if you turn around and look backwards, you will see a formation that looks like the Virgin Mary in silhouette. And they used to have a souvenir plate in the gift shop. And I used to have this plate, and I don't know what happened to it.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
I have a photo of it.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you for the...
It's in the back of my brain somewhere, yeah.
So, like, when I was in my 20s, I had one of these souvenir plates from Meramec Caverns, like hanging on a plate hanger in my apartment. And it was one of those, like, a white souvenir plate with blue design on it, but it had Meramec Caverns and the Virgin Mary, and it had like the cave formation on the plate. I know that thing broke at some point and probably had to be thrown away, but like, I wish I could find it again. And I haven't tried eBay. I should, but One day, like our chirp china pattern, we're going to come across it in Savers.
Yep. We just got to wait for somebody, I guess, our age to die that also has our same taste.
It would probably have to be older than us, but yeah. And so they don't mention the Virgin Mary formation anymore.
They do have a massive stalagmite, the big boulder one that you have to kind of walk around.
Oh, yeah.
They've got the
Onyx Mountain.
Yes, Onyx Mountain. They've got some fantastic, like there's kind of like a river that you follow, that you walk alongside that they turn on a lot of lights for. And there's some places they just kind of like, all right, we're just going to stop here and turn on some lights and wow you for 5 minutes.
Take all the photos you need to.
And they've added a lot of colored. Those colored lights were not always there. I know, I feel like, because I've done Meramec Caverns photography with you, and I don't think I have any colored lights ones. So those might be.
I don't know how far back the colored lights go, but they've been there for a while. But they have to care. We were on a very small tour.
Yes.
While the ones on either side of us were much larger for some reason. And they have to time the tour very carefully because of the light show.
Yes, the light show. So when you're done touring everything, when you're finished,
when you come downstairs from the wine table,
you finish seeing. Yes, you have to walk up to the wine table. They do. Actually, no, you can get to the theater without going to the wine table, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can.
No elevators, not ADA compliant, but to get to the wine table, you have to walk 58 stairs, and these are like not, these are stairs that somebody had to come in concrete, like in place. And then you go and you get to go to the light show. Now, it used to be a light show. They've kind of goofed it up a bunch. Back in the day, it was, well, okay, so first off, you go into this room and there is a cave formation that is like cascading stalactites.
It's called the stage curtain.
Yes.
And I do think the formation is called a curtain.
Yes. So, and what they have this is a big open area inside of the cave. They have some seating set up in there, and they do a light show projection on the curtain. They talk about the history. Like there was somebody who, like the governor of Missouri in the 1950s came.
1946, post World War II. He came to Meramec Caverns. They were doing some kind of rededication, doing some kind of program to honor the people coming back from the war.
Yeah, post-war people.
It was to honor the military. And this governor brought two very special things. One, a fancy light that could project the flag on the curtain. And then he also brought Kate Smith, the very famous singer, who sang God Bless America.
Yes.
Now, they don't have Kate Smith sing the song anymore. They've got some new recording of a warbling, dragging out the most longest version of God Bless America you've ever heard. And something is really lost for not having the Kate Smith warbly 1940s.
There's that, and also the fact that it used to be just the American flag being projected. Yes. And a light show of lights being turned on and off. Now, the light show had to be operated manually by your tour guide.
It was amazing.
Big, loud clack, clack, clacks as they're going through turning lights on and off as God Bless America is playing.
And it was like, the way that it went was kind of like, like God Bless America, click, 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 click. Land that I love, click, 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 click. Like it was a thing. It was amazing. And I just miss it so much. And now it's all computerized and it's got a whole thing with the owner of the cave reading.
Yes. I didn't mind that, but I did immediately went into just the jingoistic military, just slamming a bunch of like moto videos together. Like, here's pilots, they're piloting. Here's an infantry guy, infantry, and here's
a smiling family.
Yeah, smiling family, black family, white family, Asian family. Like, it was just. I was
impressed that it wasn't all white people.
Yeah, they mixed it up a little bit, but it was very like we just grabbed a bunch of stuff from Shutterstock and slammed it all together.
We are just like the most awful people ever because like as soon as an American Eagle comes up, I'm just like both of us are like
because it wasn't just an American Eagle. It was an American Eagle doing the 1990s school photo where you've got
the eagle
standing and looking
sideways.
and eagle soaring. So you know the two stages of eagle, one sitting nobly and one which is soaring across the sky.
Yeah, the bald eagle imagery is just like an automatic eye roll for us.
And I love seeing a bald eagle in the wild. But yeah, when you project it on a screen and sing "God Bless America" to me, I'm not buying it.
The thing that makes me laugh in that kind of situation is just that, like, I feel like the only time we've really seen bald eagles in the wild, they were eating roadkill. So, like,
that's right, we did. We did turn a corner. Where were we driving?
I don't know. Probably on the River Road or something like that. I mean, it was up. I think it was up towards Grafton.
We did. We saw like 3 bald eagles going to town on some roadkill.
It's so majestic.
So America right there.
So yeah, anytime I see some kind of like patriotic American Eagle shit, I always think of those bald eagles eating roadkill.
Now, when we came up to this, we were talking to our tour guide about the old light show, and I asked if he had any of the old clickers, if they have any of the old clicker lights, and he said, yes, they still have 2 of them to turn off the main lights. And so I asked, because you love that so much, and I think he was so charmed by our daughter and possibly by us too. And he was just
old
like
people that were like his parents' age, and like, you know, remembering
just as big
things.
As nerds of this cave as he is.
Nobody loves Meramec Caverns like we do.
Mm-hmm. And so he let you start the music by clicking the 2 lights and pressing the start button on the.
Now it's computerized, so I had to use a touch screen to tap start.
But you got that tactile feeling.
I did. I get to flip the lights.
Yeah. So and then we got some ice cream on the way out, and we did the
Cavern Queen boat.
Yeah, we did the Cavern Queen float. Just a little boat. They take you out and they kind of just point some wildlife out to you. It was a fantastic day. It was like 70 degrees and cloudy, which is like the perfect weather.
It was up in the 80s. We just don't have the corn sweat humidity yet.
Oh yeah. It wasn't as hot as it was today after the rain, but
yeah. Missouri gets punishing farther along into the summer when the corn starts to ripen
when it starts to get wet.
Yeah, and it gets real humid, like awfully humid. But right now we're having temperatures in the upper 80s and close to 90 without humidity, and it's nice.
Yeah, and the river always has a nice little breeze on it, so we got a nice, go down the river, come up the river, enjoy the scenery, enjoy the Missouri trees. We got to see a snake.
A square turtle.
And a square turtle. Not a cool turtle, a very square one. And then we got in the van and we went home. You got a new t-shirt, surprisingly cheap t-shirts.
$12 t-shirts.
Yeah. And like on really good.
I don't want to tell them that they could charge fully double for those shirts.
100%. What a hell of a way to die.com. We got our daughter a new multi-tool knife because I lost her last one that had her actual name on it.
Because we had to confiscate it after camp one year. Our kid is very practical minded and is also homeschooled, so she doesn't know about regular school safety rules.
Yeah.
And she was going to engineering camp at the Science Center one year and brought her multi-tool with her because she thought she'd probably need a screwdriver.
Yeah, it's got a flat head and a Phillips head on it.
So
it's also got a knife.
So the camp supervisor calls me and says that my kid brought a weapon to camp. And I had to go early and meet with the security guy and get her confiscated knife. But the good thing about that was that, of course, we have lots of connections to the Science Center, and all of the people who work there know her by name. They know her very well because we've spent a lot of time there. And so I was talking to some of the like education staff when I picked the knife up, and they're like, oh God, yeah, we were like freaking out when we heard that a kid brought a knife into camp. And then they were like, oh, it was our child.
It was Luna.
Yeah.
She came up with her own nickname, so we can
say it was Luna's knife, and they're all just like, oh well.
There's probably a misunderstanding.
There's a reason for that. Like,
and of course, what it is I needed a screwdriver for engineering camp.
Just thought she needed a screwdriver, and she also found her card the other day where she got certified to use the cardboard tools.
Oh yeah, to cut
and
the
I
cardboard.
Just saw her contemplating it, just like staring at it, like she was just really proud that she earned that cardboard tool privilege.
Boy, she's gonna be a forklift operator in no time flat. So that's Meramec Caverns. think we're good for probably, the biggest struggle I think we had was to not continue to Branson down Highway 44.
It truly is a struggle this time of year. And it's like, I talk about moving out of Missouri so much and like that we need to move to Illinois, like maybe we'll move to Alton, like somewhere, moving to Illinois to freedom, away from these terrible Missouri politics. But then like as soon as you get on 44 West and you're looking straight down the Ozark Mountain range and all the trees and all the hills this time of year, everything is green. And I'm just like, I could drive this all day. And literally that means going to Silver Dollar City.
Yep. And we'd do it. Like we would be, if we had the time and the money, boy, we'd be in Silver Dollar City a lot, I think. Well, maybe twice a year.
I mean,
the Christmas season's really nice down there.
The millions of lights that they use for Christmas at Silver Dollar City is very overwhelming for my brain. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But back before I had a child, back when I was much more resilient, I had a friend. We had season passes for Silver Dollar City, and we would go down there for the day, which I cannot imagine at this point. Like drive 4 hours to Branson, go to Silver Dollar City all day, and then not have a hotel, drive home because the park was open from like 10 to 6. So you had time on either end. Yeah. You just would get yourself some caffeine. And
I mean, that's a normal day. Like so it starts at 10. So we'd have to leave at like 6. Yeah. Yeah. I'm up by then. I'm on the road.
Yeah. That's 8 hours of driving in a day,
I wouldn't do it 100%.
I could not in my 40s, but when I was in my 20s, absolutely. And so, yeah, it is very tempting, even though I could not do it these days. It is like you see the open road and you're just like, we could make it.
We could do it. We could just leave all this behind and go eat an entire potato on a stick.
And stop at Lambert's on the way.
Oh, my God. Get a roll thrown at me.
That's a story for a different day.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys are enjoying the Travelogues as much as I am enjoying recording them with the lovely Miss Elizabeth. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week.